And we are live. Hey, family, welcome to another JMMB Goal Getter Live. It is Tuesday. I don't even know the date. Yes, November 24. Yes, November 24. If you're one of our US viewers in the USA, you're probably hunkering down, getting ready for Thanksgiving on Thursday. We're going to touch on that, and probably more like Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We're going to be touching a little bit on that later on in tonight's discussion. But in Jamaica and in most other parts of the world, it's a regular week, and we're happy to have you here joining us for the final episode of JMMB Goal Getter Live for 2020. My goodness, we've been here from March. We've been here since March, and first of all, I'm going to apologize, folks. As you can see, I know I have braces and elastics, and they changed my treatment. That got some new wires and thing, and so my mouth talking like I have all sort of things happening. So don't mind me. You'll understand what I say for the most part. But we're just happy to have you, and it's our last episode for 2020. Yes, it's been an awesome year for us. I mean, we started these Goal Getter live streams in March of this year, initially in response to the need to provide you with the information you needed to navigate the economic and financial impact of COVID-19. But JMMB Goal Getter Live has evolved into so much more, and we were so happy to bring you a year filled with awesome information on everything from not only your finances, money, saving, investment, managing your debt, acquiring your home, but we also touched on life. We touched on parenting, how to manage homeschooling and balancing it all. Can I get an amen? We spoke about everything from women's health to men's health to relationships. What do men want? What do women want? It's been an awesome year. So this is our last episode for 2020. We're going to wheel and come again, and you know how we like to keep things spicy. So check us out in 2021. Keep posted on our social media pages to look out for what's coming up. But tonight, the topic is timely because, as I said, it's Thanksgiving week in the United States. We have Black Friday coming up on Friday. It's arguably probably the biggest shopping day, or certainly one of the top two biggest shopping days in the United States for the year. And then Cyber Monday follows closely behind. And then we have the holiday season. And what comes with the holiday season? Usually a lot of spending. Oh my goodness. And in a year that has been so challenging and unprecedented, we thought this was an awesome time to talk about how do we manage our budget, how do we stay on track with our financial goals in the holiday season, and of course for 2021, because we're preparing from now. So of course we love to invite you guys. Drop a comment, tell us hi, tell us where you're watching us from. I see the comments lighting up already. We have our regular peeps. We have our new peeps. Hey, Raquel, what's happening? No, don't worry. We're going to come back in some way, shape, or form in 2021. Don't worry about it. Good night, Marvin. What's happening? Hey, Odian. Happy to have you as well. Love having you on. Your JMMB family loves you. Hey, Dion. Shanique, always dropping the nuggets. Hey, Nadine. What up? Yeah, man, we know you come to watch your girl, right? Welcome, everybody. So, yes, drop a comment. Tell us where you're watching us from. And as I said, we're talking about some important money matters tonight. How to budget, how to manage your budget, and get through this holiday season, and how to prepare for 2021 so we remain on track. Because remember, life isn't canceled. COVID is still around, but life still goes on. We believe that COVID-19 will ultimately see an end. We don't know when, but guess what? We are here to give you the information you need to push through. What's happening? Watching from Japan. Hey, love it. Hey, what's happening, Japan? Thank you so much for joining us. And guys, yes, pray, tell your family, your friends to log on, to tune in. And again, if you can't watch us on the live, we're recording this. You can watch us as many times as you like on the replay. Share the replay because this is great information here tonight. So, of course, without further ado, let me welcome my two awesome guests. Now, our guests tonight, they, of course, work with JMMB because we're talking about money. We don't need to go anywhere else to look for experts. But right here at JMMB, and right here, this is my house, but right within the JMMB family, and we're going to introduce the lady first. We have a lady and a gentleman, and I'm going to introduce the lady first. Her name is Shinelle Simpson. She's one of our personal portfolio managers here at JMMB. Hey, Shinelle.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Welcome. Looking cute as usual. How you doing, girl?
I am good. Happy to be here as always.
Of course, because you've sat in the host chair as well as the guest chair. So now
Yes.
you see both sides of this conversation. We're happy to have you. And then, of course, I'm going to introduce the gentleman. He is none other than Mr. Raldo Spence. He is Business Development Manager with JMMB Bank. What's up, Raldo?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm great. It's a pleasure being here.
Love it. So where are you guys? Both of you are in Kingston?
Yes, I'm in Kingston. I'm home.
Oh, great.
Well, I'm actually at the Portmore location. I'm still in the office. I'm still working.
Okay. Still working. That's all good. We're here working for our clients. It's our clients. Our clients are the reasons why we do what we do. So yes, say we have Melissa saying hi to Raldo and Jody saying hi to Shinelle. Hey guys, yeah man. John says she's one of our personal portfolio managers. Yeah man, welcome. Happy to have you guys. So yes, guys. So you know the deal. As I said, we are in probably what is going to be the biggest shopping week for the year in the United States. And I mean, I know Jamaica kind of gets a little fall off from that as well. In the US sneeze, we catch cold. So we have our own little version of Black Friday going on. The retailers have had a very, very difficult year in trying to keep afloat. We totally get that. And at the same time, consumers have had a difficult year, which is what has caused everybody to kind of see this year as a tremendous struggle. Again, nobody would have anticipated what COVID would have done to our economy and our finances. But at the end of the day, we know that we have to stay on track, right? So let's kind of just jump into it and just, set the stage because the holiday season is coming up. Everybody kind of knows what the holiday season typically involves, which is usually heightened expenditure, gift buying, and so on. So, Shinelle, I'm going to jump right in and ask you the first question of tonight's discussion, and just asking you to share with us, Shinelle, what's your overall advice for helping people to manage their money generally during the holidays? Because, of course, you manage a lot of clients' portfolios, and I know you have these conversations every day, especially now. What's your general advice to them at this time?
Well, for me, Carrie, my general advice is consistent. And that is just to encourage clients and persons to be intentional around their savings and what they spend. I mean, this year has been a year that none of us have seen. We never saw this year coming. We didn't expect it. And reality hit for quite a few persons, especially persons who would have been impacted. Their incomes would have been impacted depending on the sector that they would have worked in. But for me, with this holiday season coming up, my general advice is to just be intentional around your savings. We are not going out as much as we used to. We don't have as much gatherings as we used to. And so it means then our spending should be less than what it used to be, right? I know it can be daunting with COVID, but focus on the positive aspect of COVID. You're not going out, you're not consuming as much. So try to take the opportunity in the middle of the crisis and save more and be intentional around it. So that's my general advice to everybody. And the same applies for holiday or no holiday, but of course, even more for the holiday season.
Absolutely. And I think that's great and sobering advice, Shinelle, because you're right. This year is going to be different. I actually just went on Instagram a couple of hours back and saw what looks like a screenshot of a tweet coming out of one of the government accounts talking about even further contracted curfew hours. So already we're kind of seeing that the typical activities that we normally see or participate in at the holiday time are not going to be there. So there are going to be plenty of opportunities for us to be circumspect in how we spend our money. And your advice is, of course, to be intentional. And I think that's a great segue into the next question, which I'm going to propose to Raldo, which is, of course, after December, comes the 91 days of January, right? It is 91 days in January because normally for those of us who get a little salary in December, you get it kind of early-ish in December, so you can kind of hit the malls and the shopping and the plazas them early. And then guess what? Payday in January don't move, and January feels like it's forever. So, Raldo, bearing all of that in mind, what are the pitfalls that you want folks to be aware of as we go through the month of December, bearing in mind that we're looking down the barrel of a January coming?
So, boy, Kerry, it sounds like brokenness when you say 91 days. You know, the struggle is going to come ahead. It's the whole, it's a tamarind month, as my folks would call it. But I like for persons to deal with their expenses. When you get your pay, just be mindful that you have a long time ahead of you before you get paid. Set your budget, work within your budget. If you don't have it, don't try to floss. You understand? And I mean, due to the whole COVID situation now, I would say if persons are very mindful that they try to keep it as minimal as possible in terms of the gifting, the spending for the food and the lavish spending and all of that. We still do get caught up as well in terms of the whole online shopping. The Amazon has been going crazy since the COVID started. So, I mean, if you can just ease off the website a bit, it will help. Put aside in your budget, pay your tithes, work with what it is. The expenses in the given month, your light bill may increase because you have up your paper lights and stuff like that. You're spending more at the supermarket. And even during the whole COVID time, the consumption level of food have increased and is also impacting the regular budget from before. So, just be mindful not to overspend. So that's what I would share.
And I support that point. And as I say, I don't want to make it sound like it's gloom and doom. But you don't find every year January just feel extra long. And once you pass January, it's like, oh, we reach Christmas again. It's crazy. But as you said, it's really about, recognizing that it is what it is, Light bill will probably go up because we have up the tree. Everybody have up the tree from Halloween finish on October 31. Everybody is just so glad to get a little positivity in a year of challenge. And at the same time, you recognize things have to happen, but it's about being practical. And I love that, about being practical with how you spend money, making sure that, again, we're within budget. And if there are creative ways that you can find to spend, sharing expenses and so on, and again, managing them in line. I think that's definitely the way to go, and I totally agree with that. And then now talking about Christmas, right? So let's go with Christmas first before we go into the new year. And I mean, as I said, at first, especially with COVID, when we were in lockdown, it was like Christmas was a world away, and here we are, less than a month.
No Christmas.
About a month to go for Christmas, the 24th today, that we're doing this live. And so, already people are starting to shop, trees are already up, everybody really just wants to feel, I guess, the spirit of the season as a way to kind of mentally escape what has already been a challenging year. Shinelle, bearing in mind, again, the obvious expenses that we know are going to come at us, could you practically share with us how we can keep our holiday expenses more manageable for our families and ourselves this year?
Sure, Carrie, absolutely. And you had touched on it earlier where the government has announced that, the curfew hours are now going to be a bit more tight. And the maximum persons allowed in any gathering is 15 persons. Now, I know Christmas is a very emotional time. It's a very festive time. We're used to the big family gatherings and the excitement and all of that, and we love it. But the truth is, we're in a pandemic, right? And we want to all play our parts in leveling the curve and lowering the spread of COVID-19 as much as possible. In the middle of that, we can find creative ways of how we can treat our family. Look at us now sitting here doing a virtual session. COVID has brought so many opportunities to us, and we haven't even realized how positive they can be. So, for example, our families, we won't be able to not everybody can come down from overseas. Not everybody can come to your house anymore. So when you go out shopping for your Christmas dinner, or for the Christmas week. There is no need to now come out with 3, 4, 5 trolleys, right? You want to keep your household as small as possible. Call your family on the friend, do video call by WhatsApp, do whatever you need to do to create that space or that energy so you can still celebrate as a family, but still you will only be providing for the persons who are closer to you. So your expenses really and truly should be less this Christmas. And you want to be, as I said before, I cannot stress this enough, you have to be intentional around saving, right? So we all see where this year, if you still have a job and you still have an income, and if you're gonna be blessed enough to get a Christmas bonus, you're very, very fortunate. So don't let this opportunity go to waste. Save that money, put it aside somewhere you don't even see it. Don't put it on an account on Moneyline that you can just go and click and transfer it or swipe your Visa debit card. Be intentional around it. There are so many options that we have for our clients to put away funds where it's not at your fingertips. So you have to be intentional around it, you know. And as I said before, the spending, it's emotional when it comes to Christmas because we feel as if we need to buy everybody a gift. Nobody asks you for a gift, but you feel as if you need to buy everybody a gift because it's Christmas. Find creative ways and be innovative around how you can reach out to your family and your friends and have them feel, you know, present in the season at the same time saving those extra funds.
And I love that. I love my takeaway from that is the innovativeness of how we spend and how we give, you know. And I think that's an important point because again, if you have a year of emotional challenge and the desire is to really want to draw close to people, but at the same time recognizing you have to manage your money, innovation is the word, you know. And I'm thinking, you know, things like, you know, how you gift give, you know, so maybe if you have a parent, let's say you have a mom or a dad to buy a gift for and their siblings, 3 of you, normally each of you would get a gift for mom. Maybe 3 of you could come together and know the cost of a gift. You know, it could be a little bit of a nicer gift, but the per charge cost, the per cost that you incur as an individual would be less because you're now pooling together. Things like that. And then other ways to give people, you know, babysitting a kid so that a single mom can get a night off is a very worthwhile gift, can I say?
It's a very good gift.
You know, so it's about being innovative. I love that. And Raldo, in a similar kind of vein, yes, Black Friday is on Friday. Cyber Monday is right after that. Very popular days for online shopping and offline, even in Jamaica, yes. And I know that we like to use the opportunity to benefit from the sales that normally we would see the awesome prices both here and abroad. What are the spending pitfalls that you think we should avoid during those big sales in particular?
My biggest thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's Raldo's question. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, Shinelle, that is your question. My bad. Reading fundamental. I did not read properly. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shinelle.
All right. So, right. For me, the biggest thing, Raldo and I play a really good tag team because he touched on it as well. Your budget. Yes, it's Black Friday sale. Yes, it's all these sales and so on going on. And yes, even in Jamaica, it's so easy to shop online. It's the click of a button. But if you're going to make an order online and when the order arrives at your door, you don't even remember what it was that you ordered, you did not need it. So don't buy it, right? Before you even go and look what is on sale, make a list of the things that you actually need that you want to get at a discounted price that you'd have been planning for all year. Make your list. And when you go to make your purchases, because we're not saying don't make any purchase, you know, we're not saying you can't treat yourself. We're not saying don't take advantage of these opportunities when they come up, but make sure you stick to your budget and what you would have had on your list as a need, right? Not because it's on sale, it doesn't mean that it's a good buy and you should buy it. Look at your budget and look at what you're doing, what you need it for. If you go to your bed and you don't even remember that you wanted it yesterday, then you don't need to buy it. right? So you, as again, I cannot stress enough, you need to be intentional. You need to take charge of your finances. You need to create this winning mindset around your finances and your money and be intentional around it. So sale or no sale, you know, you're sticking to what you would have outlined that you need, and what you don't need, it's discipline, and you have to have discipline.
With you on that, and making that list is so important. And I know I'm guilty. Where even sometimes you have a list and then it's like the things they look so
Oh, no,
pretty
no, no,
and
no.
the price so good you can't leave it at that price. But you know, the list is so very important because again, you can plan it out. I mean, even from now, you can go on the website and kind of get a sense of the sales that are coming down the pipe, what's on sale, and then you build your list. And then of course, again, you can of course have your budget, you know how much you can spend and stick to it. I think it's as simple as that. I think that's great advice, Shinelle. um so Raldo, okay, now I got it right. We're going over to Raldo because guess what now, when you're talking about online sales and even offline sales, well, online is not cash. You need some kind of card. You need debit card or you need a credit card, right? International debit card or international credit card. And whoo boy, that can be rough, especially the credit card one, because if you have room on the credit card and the limit don't max out yet and you don't have to pay for it tomorrow, whereas the debit card, it's hitting your account right away. Let's just talk about it, Raldo. How can we use credit and debit cards wisely when we're shopping this season?
All right. So the debit card, you know, it's the card issued by the bank, which is tagged to your savings or checkings account, which is basically your money you're spending. And the credit card, you know, is issued by a bank, which is money that you're basically borrowing, paying back at a interest rate. You know, you have a set limit and so forth. Now, in terms of using this wisely, we have persons from time to time who use their credit card like a debit card, where they would just work within their budget and then put, for example, 100,000 on them credit card, and they know that's what they're going to spend. You understand? And they manage it that way. That way, they avoid any late payment, any over limit, anything like that. Right? Now, if you look at it, that credit card, I would say, is not a bad thing. But if you're not aware of a lot of how to use it and to use it properly, if you're not aware of your billing cycle, your statement date versus your due date, these are important things that one should really know. Now, we know a lot of persons don't even know the interest rate on their credit card. They know them sign up for a credit card, they know them have a limit of 100 or 500,000, but they don't even know if it is 49%, 48, 46, or if they have the best deal, so to speak. So, I mean, in using it wisely, I would say that these are things that you need to know. You need to be abreast of your interest rate. You need to know when your statement date versus your due date. You have an opportunity to pay your minimum payment up to the due date. So if your minimum payment, for example, is $5,000 based on your limit, which may be 100,000, for example, because it's 5%, the bank usually factor as your minimum payment. Now, if you know that your due date or your minimum payment is 5,000, you can pay it by the due date. You also have a little window in which you can clear the balance. So that when the statement generates, you have a zero balance. The statement generating and to avoid any payment for the next month. So those are little tactics and trades that you can actually understand, you know, in terms of how to use the credit card. Now, I mean, credit cards come with a lot of benefits. And, you know, like myself and other persons I know, Shinelle, you know, we have cards for different purposes. We use it for travel points. We use it, you know, to be able to check into a hotel and so forth. We use it to get cash back. We use it to that. We can't just be spending. And back to some of the things that you're saying, we have to be intentional and stick within our budget, you know, reduce the flossing. Spend for stuff that we need versus what we want. You know, as I said earlier, you know, the Amazon making a deal off of these cars because they're just going. You know, so using them wisely, these are some of the things that we need to be abreast of. The due date, your statement date, is the limit of the credit card that you get within your monthly income. some persons have $1 million credit card and have $120,000 income gross per month. That mean it just don't add up, you know. So I mean, be cognizant of the fact that you may be pushing yourself outside of that area, but it comes with a lot of benefits. We have seen where persons use the card, spend the card, they go to Price Mart and they use the card and they get the points. You know, they get the points, and they're able to go to a hotel for free. They're able to travel to New York. They're able to travel to Miami. You know, stuff like that. So I mean, it comes with its benefits, but you know, using it wisely is very important, and knowing about the card itself.
I love that. Definitely know about your card. So, because I mean, sometimes, you know, you get a card, you activate it, you know when the expiry date is, and you know what the limit is, and that's about it.
And
But
just
as
to
we
add,
said, you know,
Kerry,
investigate.
just to add, I mean, persons have multiple cards, and year over year they're paying annual fee on 4 or 5 different cards. And when you add up the annual fee based on the limits they have and the type of card, it could be a platinum card, could be a black card, and the annual fee that is tagged to that card, that's an unnecessary expense that you really need per month. So I mean, you have to work your budget and just be cognizant of the fact that, you know, as my lovely friend here, Shinelle, would say, why you need more than one credit card? You know, if it's
Raldo,
one,
don't pull me in.
you know, if it's one,
I'll remain silent.
you know, if it's one you have, it's one. But this, a lot of credit cards and using this card, that card for this and that, you know, we just have to be careful and just understand that these are unnecessary expenses as well that we're taking. And the annual fees, you understand, knowing the statement date, all of those things, like I said before.
Wonderful. And yeah, man, I love that point. It's really about knowing your credit cards. How many cards do you have? What's the annual fee? What's the billing cycle? The interest rate? You know, the goal is really not to be paying off that minimum every single month. You'll never get where you need to go if that's the plan. And then, of course, with the debit card side of things now, obviously, that's coming straight from your account. And when you take away that money, you're losing prospective income that you would have earned from the interest that you would have gotten on the money in that account. I just want to pause and acknowledge some of the great nuggets that are coming out here. I saw Odion dropping some awesome nuggets as usual. Odion says, using my bonus to buy equity. Hey, buying stocks, love that. Because you know you're seeing some great discounts right now. All right, put that money in there. Love that one. And then Odion went on to say, need is the order of the day, not wants at this time. Strongly agree. I love that. Great. Yeah, Shanique reminding us here that right now a lot of people are trying to pay off their credit cards, and unfortunately some of them have regrets with using it unwisely. So we don't want anybody to be caught up in that. We're not saying don't have a credit card. We're not saying that. Don't come for us in the comments. We're not saying don't have a credit card. We're saying that we need to just be wise about how we use it. Love it, Raldo. Love it. So, Raldo, when we talk about budget, because we know that generally we're supposed to have a budget right throughout the year, right?
Yes,
Expenses, income, always making sure the income surpasses the expenses so we can save and invest. Fine. Should we have a budget different for the Christmas season, separate from our regular budget? Because light bills still coming and water bills still coming. Should we have a different budget for Christmas versus regular December, November budget? What's your take on that?
All right. So I've seen before. So I believe you should have a budget first and foremost, right? It's wise. It makes sense, you know, that you're not spending more than you're earning, and then you're ended up borrowing money to get through. But a budget is important. For me, the Christmas budget now, it's different. I see it as a one-off budget. However, we have seen where companies and persons from the start of the year, they know that they have their plans for Christmas and they put aside a little change every month into an account, which is not tagged to their debit card or anything like that. And then put their savings and say, well, if this is what it comes to by December 15 or whatever it is, you know, if it comes to 100,000, that is what I'm using for Christmas. You have persons who are disciplined like that. You have companies as well who actually put in a Christmas savings for their employees that they contribute on a monthly basis from out of their salary, you know, to a fund within a bank. Those are options as well. So the regular budget is, your monthly income versus your expenses, and you work it through. The Christmas, it's a one-off expense, but some persons actually prepare earlier in the year versus later in the year. Now, we have to be reasonable. We have to be aware of an obligation versus a need or versus a want. And we have to learn how to prioritize them. Because if we're not staying within the budget, we can get carried away over the Christmas season and end up spending. You understand? Unnecessary gifts are persons not wanting a gift, but you decide because it's Christmas, you must give a gift. You understand? And not being innovative, as Shinelle would say. We have seen a lot of creativity around what the pandemic has created. We have seen persons are having dinners at home and stuff like that, working out of a supermarket budget to say, okay, we're going to buy this, and we're going to cook and we're going to eat it and so forth. Versus you're going out and spending twice or three times the amount. With the Christmas period, you're going to have a higher light bill. Just as you said, Kerry, your expenses in food are going to be higher. But we have to look at prioritizing what we need to spend on, what are the needs, what are the wants, and then we focus on the needs. Sometimes we have to focus on the needs. It's always a good practice though. If you are the person just sharing, if you like gifting, then maybe for that person within your monthly salary, you can put aside something for, even though it's Christmas, some persons like gifting a birthday and other occasions, they tend to just put the money aside, which deals with those things.
I love that, because the beauty about Christmas, it come at the same time every single year. Is not a surprise. It's not like a pandemic that come and lick we and we never expect it. We know Christmas is happening every day. Black Friday is the last Friday in November every single year. So guess what? Because we know it's coming, we can plan. We just set aside a little mickle every month so that when it come November now, we have a good 10, 11 months to plan. We are good to go. I love that. And as you said, we're sticking to the needs, trying to minimize the wants, avoid the wants as best as possible. Because we never want to treat yourself little, but we have to watch that. Raldo, so that being said though, because I'm just being honest, I don't always prefer for Christmas budget as I should. I'm guilty. Just confession is good for the soul. And I know a lot of people watching, that is their story as well. Because us here, not because we work at JMMB, means that we have it all right all the time and we do everything we need to do, right? We're not all like Shinelle. I'm kidding.
No, Carrie, no, not at all. But just to add, for me and my clients, I can tell you that I always keep in the back of my head, even if I don't tell them outright that's what I'm doing. I know Christmas is coming and they're going to call me, boy Shinelle. So even in planning for them and putting their portfolios together, I always have a little put aside to know that, okay, you're going to want to do a little Christmas shopping, you have kids, you have grandkids. So it's a part of our jobs too as financial advisors and experts to keep it in mind as well. So Raldo was right on the ball in terms of putting it aside, because we do it every day for you, even if we don't say it,
Absolutely. And that's great foresight, because it's going to happen, and with all the best intentions, sometimes we really don't always do everything we need to do. But that said, Raldo, because we know that there's going to be some gaps, right? In terms of how people are able to prepare or not prepare for the Christmas expenditure, the additional expenditure. Do you recommend, because enough Christmas loan advertising, and JMMB probably soon start advertised, do we normally have a nice holiday special loan package with sexy rates and low fees every year? Do you recommend that people get a loan to get them through the holiday season? What are your thoughts?
All right, Kerry. So that holiday special, is very hot, very hot. Persons are blowing up and calling every day. It's low interest rate, but proper financial advice to give to a client when you're coming for a loan, right? The purpose of the loan, and if the purpose makes sense, is very important. I could not give a client an advice to get a loan because he wants a car. to do some Christmas flossing or stuff like that. You know, I mean, if you're coming, you know, to try and assist with some home renovation, and if you want to take opportunity of this holiday special, you know, that's an option that seems to me, you know, a very good choice. It's a very good decision to give a client. Loan is not a bad thing, but the purpose for which you have this loan, because this is something, or it's a relationship that you're getting in for the next 5-7 years down the road. So you get the money today, you use the money today for what you want it to do, but you have this thing carrying forward 5, 6, 7 more years along with you, and it's coming out of your salary. And I mean, based on even the COVID situation here, a lot of persons' salary were reduced by, you know, the company had to make a decision by cutting 30%, 20%, you know. So we weren't expecting it or seeing this to happen, but we don't know what is to come in 4 or 5 years. So when you're approaching in terms of a loan, yes, I would give a Christmas loan, but depending on what's the specific purpose, the purpose must be, it must make sense, right? It must be a valid purpose. It must be a purpose that is going to benefit you, the customer, in the long run. It must be adding value. So let's look at it. We may have some cash flow situation. We may have our home. We have a lot of sale at this time of the year in terms of paint. You know, you may need to paint your house and stuff like that and renovate, do some renovation. It may be adding value. Based on this Christmas special, a holiday special, and very attractive interest rate, you have persons who have higher interest rates outside there in the public that could actually come in and get a proper financial planning conversation to see how we could offer a debt consolidation facility for them. Now, based on the debt consolidation facility, it may put them in a position to take home more residual income that they could use to do, as you know, the gentleman has said that he's going to purchase him shares. You understand? So it puts you at a place that loans are good. You understand? But the purpose intended for is also very important, and you need to make sure that that purpose is something that is satisfy a need versus over a want. It's an obligation that you may have to cover, right? It's an expense.
You know, I love that advice, because at the end of the day, we're keeping it real here. And, you know, I like to say we love to keep it real at JMMB and indeed on the Goal Getter Live, because the reality is it's a year of a lot of unexpected things that took place. Some folks would have lost income, some folks would have lost jobs, maybe even, or would have been met with expenses they didn't anticipate. And so in order to get through this time of year with some necessary expenditure, a loan may be necessary. And so in those instances, if you can afford it, you know, your debt service ratio is in decent condition, etc., and you can pay it back, because of course in all of this, we don't want people's credit score and all of these things, credit history, to be negatively impacted, right? Because there's life after Christmas, okay?
Right.
A loan is fine, but it's just what you're borrowing the loan for. And as you say, Raldo, excellent point. I want to jump back over to Shinelle with one final question as we wrap up on the holiday spending side of the conversation before we go into the new year, because as I said, after December, life goes on. So I think we said it earlier in the discussion that we tend to get paid earlier in December to, you know, give us the money ahead of, say, the 23rd or the 26th, whenever we get paid in a given month. We get paid usually a week or sometimes too early, depending on where you work. And, you know, yeah, man, money feel ton up. And if you're blessed enough to get some sort of little bonus this year, you feel cashy. But it's probably another 6 weeks before you get paid again, because they're not paying you early in January. They're paying you all the way down on January the 42nd. And so, you know, again, let's just keep it real. Shinelle, what are your recommendations in terms of things that we need to ensure, the trap that we should ensure we don't fall in not being able to pay our bills in January before that January 42nd payday, whenever it does come?
Boy, Kerry, you know, before I get into the bills part, I just want to say that we really have to commend the companies who take their initiative to pay their employees early during the season, right? Because not all companies do it. And if you're blessed enough to work in a company that does that for you, you have to be grateful. But to go back again to the point of self-discipline and budgeting, it's a new year. Every year we have our resolutions. We write down, we make our vision boards, how we want to enter the new year. But something you want to consider as well is, how do you want to enter the new year financially as well, right? Where it's November 24th, it is pay week for November. We're having this session the perfect time. Most persons, if you haven't gotten paid already, you'll be getting paid this week. You have the time now to sit and budget, not just for January, but for December as well, right? So you want to make your budget to include your January expenses, your December expenses, and cover November, so that when you're going into December and January, you can enter the new year feeling refreshed, relaxed, and not stressed, right? As I mentioned before, we here at JMMB, we have many options for our clients where you can put aside those funds, take out your expenses from your December bonus if you're getting a bonus, or from your December income if you can afford to do so. Even if you're not able to cover your full January expenses right away, take out a portion of your January expenses and put in an account where it rolls over 30 days or 60 days, whatever the case is, so that you don't even look at it. Put it aside, right? You want to stick to your budget, as Raldo had mentioned, I had mentioned before. Don't feel cashy now like you want to. Yes, you feel cashy. Remember, January is 91 days, right? It feels like 91 days. So you want to be intentional about putting aside that money. As I said, this Christmas is a different Christmas, but it's an opportunity to save more money. And I don't know about you guys, but I love to save my money, and I encourage everybody to save their money. You never know when a rainy day is going to come around. You never know when an emergency is going to come around. We have a rule in advising our clients that you want to ensure that you have at least 3 to 6 months of your income put aside in an account for a rainy day, right? This extra funds that you're getting in for December, put it aside in an account. And just to go a little further, if you know that you have a challenge with holding yourself accountable, get an accountability partner, right? Whether it's personal or your advisor like me, my clients will tell you, don't tell me you're going to save $10,000 a month. I will call you if I don't see that $10,000 per month, right? So get yourself an accountability partner. Stick to what you say you're going to do and put yourself in a positive financial space. We're about winning for you in a financial space, and you have to create that mindset for yourself and be intentional around it as well.
Boy, I tell you, Shinelle and Raldo dropping the nuggets. And, we love the engagement in the comments, guys. And you guys have some nuggets in the comments, too, because at the end of the day, we're all in this thing together. And we know a lot of you guys have great experiences. And we even have some JMMB team members in the chat. I wanted to go back up a little to Otis Codlin coming in from YouTube. I need Shinelle to put my portfolio together, because Shinelle look like she's going to whip everybody into and then Gavin, hey Gavin, Walter's saying that, some persons may take loans for business opportunities sometimes over the season, and hey, if you as a business person, you've done the math and there's an opportunity, maybe you have a big order coming in and, you need some additional working capital or capital for that matter to help you to be able to meet those orders because they have positive revenue and profitability impact. Hey, not a bad idea, but do the math, do it carefully, speak with your banker, speak with your advisor to make sure you're not digging a hole. I love it. And then, confession is good for the soul. Venu Morgan saying, I try to stick to my budget, but, love to save, but, you spend a little during the festive season. And as we say, we know how it is. As I said, we're not all Shinelle. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing you. But, it is what it is. We're just preaching wisdom here tonight and dropping. So keep dropping some more awesome comments and nuggets in the comments, guys. We'll share them as we go along. So yeah, I love that Shinelle and Raldo wrapping up some great points over the season. Yes, payday November is right about here. Here's an opportunity to pull some stuff out to get us through December. And then that if we happen to get a bonus, how do we keep some of that back? If you don't get a bonus, all the more, try and tighten those belts. I think one thing that certainly COVID taught us is the fact that having an emergency fund in place is so very, very important, because you don't know what's going to hit. And as we said, there's life after COVID, life after Christmas. You don't know what's coming. You don't want to get too dug up into the festivity. Yes, we want to be happy, have a little fun. It's all good. We love it. We're celebrating, but let's keep our head on our shoulders and be prepared. Yes, Odeon, have your emergency fund. Make sure that your money is somewhere where it is even beating inflation. How is that? Love that, Odeon. Great nuggets, great nuggets. All right, so we have celebrated the Christmas season, and it's Happy New Year. And I know everybody is looking forward to the back of 2020. Dying to see the back of 2020. I always tell people not to sound like a pessimist Polly, but hey, we don't know what 2021 coming with. We're starting 2021 with COVID, right? At least with 2020, we had maybe 2 to 3 months with no COVID. We're going into 2021 with COVID. So let us just be very circumspect. So let's go, guys. I mean, heading back to Raldo, we're ringing the new year. And then, of course, as with typically any new year, we set our goals. We have our resolutions. We know what we want to do. We have the vision board ready. What advice would you give to persons to prepare for the financial obligations that they know are going to be coming down the pipe as part of the general new year conversation, Raldo?
All right. So I would say, first and foremost, plan and document what it is that you want to document these obligations. I mean, do your budget, work through, look at your income, look at your expenses, look and to see. I mean, I like the fact that, Gavin had shared about business opportunities, because that may create a shift in things as well. In the event, if you got a loan, a business opportunity may present you with more income, thus making you being able to save more. And that emergency fund that you didn't have, you can start working towards that. We offer a program, a graduate program, for kids that you could start saving towards that. If you have not, you can reach out to Shinelle. She'll keep you on track. You understand?
Our graduate is for adults as well, Raldo.
Right.
So the graduate is for everybody.
Right. So just reach out to Shinelle and she'll keep you on track. But I would say document them, schedule them, and don't be surprised. You understand? These obligations, I can tell you right now, we don't know what is going to come next year in the budget when the government read. We don't know what are the changes to come. We don't know what fiscal policy will change and all of that stuff. So if we are going ahead and spending and we're not preparing and we're not planning, we will be surprised. And when it comes, there's nothing worse than in a position having a bill and can't pay the bill. And then another 30 days come again and you're still carrying that bill into another 30-day situation. And we can see the results based on what I do on a daily basis in terms of providing the financial advice to our clients, having the FPC conversations, right? And in having those conversations, we see why sometimes the credit report look the way it does, because it's not proper money management. They didn't plan properly. They make a decision. They jump into opportunities without thinking, what if it goes down? What if COVID come again? What if a different situation come? A different pandemic comes, right? So we have to schedule them and we create a budget. And why we create the budget is to avoid the surprises, to keep ourselves disciplined on track, to maintain our spending within certain limits, that we are saving, that we have the certain things for the rainy day. As your parents will tell you, you put on something for a rainy day. Put it in an account which is not your operational account. Learn to have different accounts for different purposes. You can create different I've seen a client have several goals, like over 10 goals, and have 10 different accounts. And he's disciplined to the point where every month you have a different standing order. Now you have persons like that. While there are persons who have one account and it's like you have to be on top of them to make sure that you grab this money as soon as them get paid. Because if you don't mind shout, them going to spend it. Right? So to see where all the money goes sometime, we have like good products as well that can track our spending. We have apps, we have stuff that we can use that track our spending and to see what we're spending too much on. Is it supermarket? Is it Amazon? And I'm going back again to Amazon. It's not that I have anything against Amazon. I love them. But what if you have a friend or a partner who just like Amazon and just keep using the card? You understand? So the financial obligations, we document them, we prepare for it, we'll plan ahead, and then we'll work with our advisors. If we are not disciplined, reach out to your advisor. You understand? We have wonderful advisors here in JMMB, both bank and investment, with several types of products and services that can suit each and every goal.
I love that. And what I really like, Raldo, is when you say, you know, writing it down. And why that I think is important is not only, again, just the eyeball, so you're seeing everything, but writing down everything that you've been spending on so you can see where the money is leaking into where it shouldn't be going, you know. Those subscriptions, you know, I know a couple months back when we did a topic like this, similar to this on budgeting, you know, we have so many subscription services that are hitting our credit card or debit card every single month, you know, Netflix and Chill and Hulu and all these wonderful things, or, you know, your Zoom subscription, whatever, you know, all these little things that come out, thousands of dollars each month that add up. You know, when we treat ourselves to that, you know, every week there is a big tub of Devon House ice cream. I love Devon House ice cream, by the way.
I love it as well.
But, you know, maybe instead of every week, we cut it down to every other week. You know, you could be saving an extra $5,000 a month. You know, it is what it is. There really are lots of saving opportunities if you write down everything. You know, you're talking about apps and stuff, Raldo. Could you just dig a little bit further? Because we know, yes, creating a budget is definitely something we need to do. We need to write it down, and you shared with us why it's important. Could you share with us, just go a little bit further into some tips that we can apply right away? I mean, for all the folks watching, what can they do kind of right away to get that budget thing going?
Right. So we have budget apps that we could use. We also have our lovely financial advisors who we can sit down and have the discussion with. We can look. I know clients, January 2nd, they're here. I know persons back then before COVID that once they receive a tax return, they're here in Jamaica a week or two later and putting down the funds with us for a specific goal, right? And they are ensuring that they send their monthly savings amount with us to achieve that goal. Speak with your financial advisor. Track your spending. Look on your statements on a monthly basis as to see where your funds are going. How you want to align yourself. Do you want to spend, are you putting your money in food, items of luxury and stuff like that, and stuff that are not earning for you? You know, somebody would say the real estate is the real estate, right? And that is a saying that is very real. A lot of us are spending, a lot of persons, and just even to go over, a lot of persons don't even know that based on the income that they have, what they can really afford. So when you have these discussions with your financial advisors, when you look at where you're channeling your money on a monthly basis, when you look at your spending, you can see where you can cut back on, how much you can actually save on a monthly basis, and what you could possibly achieve or earn. There are a lot of persons whose goals have been achieved through discipline. And as Shinelle had mentioned earlier, be deliberate, be aggressive about the fact that you want to make sure that you're maintaining proper spending, that you are putting down your funds towards what it is. So good tips is that find a budget app. We both have our smartphones. Search it.
Sorry to interrupt you, Raldo. You have any recommendation of a budget app you found useful?
All right. So what I use, I know of it, but I haven't used it. But what I do, I look at my easy access account spending every month. I'm a bit old school. So I use my easy access account spending and to see where.
Account?
All right, so the easy access account is our checklist checking account being offered here at JMMB. So it actually tracks our spending to see where most of our funds are going. So I look at my statements on a monthly basis. I am that type of guy. I'm okay collecting statements and sitting down after work and looking through the statements and say, all right, I spend this here, boy. Most of my money is going towards.
So hold on. I don't think a lot of people get this, Raldo, because we are dropping wicked things here tonight. So how does the easy access statement look? Because we all get a checking account statement from our bank, but you're saying that our easy access account statement looks different from your typical checking account bank statement?
Yes, not every person have the section of the statement which speaks to your spending pattern.
Okay.
And that it can actually be used as a guide to show you where most of your funds are.
Okay.
There are other international banks who have it on app. I mean, for example, I've used a BOA app, and
Bank
every
of
month,
America.
right? And it's a Bank of America. Sorry for the jargon.
It's all good.
And the Erica would send me a message every now and then and said, your average spending this month was X. Or you save more this month than spend. So stuff like that. Those are stuff that help to keep you in check. You understand? So you're not getting ahead of yourself. So once I see that I spend for the month, for example, for the month of October, if I see that I spend more than I save, Erica check me and tell me, say, you spend more than you save. So come November, savings come out first as an expense out of my salary. Come, you want to make sure I change that. I change that pattern and change that behavior. It's good practice. A good practice which also puts us at a place which leads to wealth creation, wealth building. So budget is very important. The different tips that I've shared, it also puts us to wealth building, wealth creation.
Love it. And I have a great question here from Patrick on Facebook. Hey, Patrick. Is the easy access, so just be clear, it's easy access. It's the letter E and the letter Z or Z, easy access, ACCESS, easy access account. He's asking if it's available for everyone, Raldo.
All right, so the easy access is available to everyone. Once you provide the relevant KYC documents, it's as easy to open that account. Right, so know your client's document, your ID, your TRN, your proof of address. Give us your 2 reference, verbal, based on the list of references that we accepted. You can come to the JMMB, present those documentation, and you get your account. You get it open. It's your operational account. It comes with several benefits as well, right? And there's no monthly service charge on this account. That is also very good. Right.
Just to add as well, your statements you can generate yourself online. Whether it's the end of the month or not, you can generate your statements online yourself. So that's one major benefit as well.
Right. Thank you for that. And it's a very good account, and it's just a minimum of $1,000 to open the account. Now get started today. $1,000 Jamaican dollars to open. $1,000 Jamaican dollars to open. So get started with the account. Start tracking your spending. It is important to know where you're putting your money. Are you putting your money in stuff that you're going to discard later down the road? Are you putting your money in something that can do something for you, an investment property? You're putting yourself in a position to get an investment property. As Gavin said, you're getting a loan to start your business. Your business may work out good during the COVID time now because persons are selling masks, persons are selling hand sanitizers and some face shields and all of these stuff. Persons were creative. Right? So I'm saying that, work within your budget. We also have to be very accountable in terms of how we spend our money and how we manage it. So we can't say, boy, we're going to leave it in the hands of the financial advisor. We have to take charge of this thing within ourselves because we want to make sure that our money is being put down for good use. And we're not just spending as we go along. You also have to, persons who may be married and so, you may have your partner, be the one to step up and say, boy, hon, I'm going to take charge of this spending situation. We're going to work out the budget and see, come January 2nd, sit down, make a resolution, stick to your plan. I was even driving in my car 2 weeks ago and I said to myself, what is my 2021? And I said, all right, okay, I want to save X amount of US dollars next year. It's a simple goal like that. How do I start? I open a US account. I put in my first deposit, right? And every month now, I am going to take it on myself to convert a certain set of money to transfer to this US account. And that's where it starts. It starts with the single step. You have to make the first step, right? So that's what I will share in terms of some of the tips.
Love that. And I appreciate that question. Yes, so the easy access account. And guys, don't worry, before when we're backstage preparing for the live, I told Shinelle and Raldo that I'm the translator, right? So whenever there are acronyms being used or analogies that, because they are the experts, right? They taught this language every day. So I'm the translator for the regular, because I'm a regular folk, okay? I'm not a licensed financial advisor. So if I don't understand it, I mean, probably y'all won't understand it either. So I'm here to translate. Don't worry, I got you. And thanks for the question, Patrick. Hey, Richardo, what up? Thanks for joining us as usual. And Venu just keeps confessing in the chat. Venu, we really appreciate your confession. Is good for the soul. Love using his card, he says. Thank you so much. And yes, Kay, certain easy access account statements at JMMB Bank does have a graph that kind of shows you where your expenses are going. So it's great to help to support that. And usually if you go online and Google, you can go into any Play Store, App Store, and you can see the different apps available and the ratings, which ones are highly rated and ones that are free. We love free. Free is good. You can download it and use it. Hey, Chian, welcome. Don't worry, Richard, late but still great. Happy to have you. All right, great. So back to Lady Shinelle, right? So we just spoke about budgeting with Raldo and preparing for the new year, when we get into the new year and all the resolutions and stuff. And then let's keep it real, Shinelle, because we continue to keep it all the way real tonight. Because for some of us, there's really no room, or we don't feel like there's any room to save and invest, after you pay for all the expenses from the little money, So could you share with us from your perspective, how important is saving and investing as we think about budgeting? Because at the end of the day, the goal of the budget, as I mentioned earlier, is to make sure that there's that gap where income surpasses expenses, so we can save and invest. I mean, how important is it? Why is it even important? Could you share with us?
Yes, Carrie. As we're keeping it real, I'm just gonna say this. No matter how small it is, save it. Some persons think that you need to be able to save 50,000 or 100,000 at a time. You don't. No matter how small it is, put it aside, separate from your operational account, and say, okay, this is what I'm allocating to whatever your goal is. Just as how you have a goal where you're saving towards a house or a car or whatever it is, you have to save for your emergency fund or just your general savings. So treat it as an expense in itself, right? So another thing that you can do as well is just to assess what you're spending, just as Raldo was speaking about on your easy access account. Look at what you're spending your money on. A lot of times we spend impulsively. We just go ahead and we buy it, and we just swipe and we buy it because we feel like we want it there and then. Assess the situation and be intentional around it again and see, okay, then I used to buy Devon House ice cream every week, for example. Try and have that one tub of ice cream last you for 2 weeks instead. So you can save that extra money that you would be buying. I know a quart is what, $1,800. I know, because I love Devon House ice cream as well. But I allow my quart to last me for as long as I can, because I know that, okay, I already bought Devon House ice cream this month. There is no more buying Devon House ice cream for the rest of November. And I have a week to go. I think I have about a spoon left. But still, try to be disciplined and intentional around it. Paying yourself is very, very important. That's the first thing you need to do. And the most important point is, no matter how small it is, because sometimes I know you feel as if you can't save because you have so many obligations, so much commitments. You're working, you're going to school, you're helping with your little brother, your little sister, whatever it is. But you have to realize that going from paycheck to paycheck, you will only continue to doing that. And that is not going on your financial journey to financial freedom and having that wealth accumulation that we're in the business of, right? So be intentional about it. If it's $5 you can save that $5. Put it in an account where you do not touch it at all, right? An emergency don't mean that a party come up and you want to go because your friends are going, or you see something that you want to buy because your friends have it. That's not an emergency, right? So you have to be intentional around it and realize that it's very important to have an emergency fund. If this year has not taught us anything at all, it has taught us that we have to prepare for the unexpected because we don't know what is to come.
Absolutely. And I see the cons being mashed in the comments. Yes, Patrick said, "Una just mash up my ice cream trips." But great advice. And Raquel reminding us there are discount days for ice cream, so you can save some money.
Yes.
So still off the ice cream topic. But no, I mean, for me, the big nugget that you shared, Shinelle, just now, is the fact that the sum for saving, the amount that you put in your budget for saving and investing, should be set up in like an expense line item. In the same way you have your light bill, your water bill, your phone bill, food. That line item for saving and investing should be there, and to the extent that that you certainly should be paying yourself first. I love that. I think that's great advice. And of course, we continue to talk about being intentional and making sure that we place that level of importance on it. Now, I want you to go to the next question, Shinelle, because we've spent a lot of time talking about expenses. And I know that when we have a budget conversation, typically because your budget is your income outlined by, beside which you outline your expenses, we always tend to go to the expense line, right? And we're going to cut the expenses. We're only going to buy ice cream on a Monday. We're going to make the whole quart last for the whole month. We're not going to go party. We are going to bang with belly. And I'm like, good grief, man, I can't bang with belly no more, right? And we forget sometimes that because the budget is two-sided, income and expenses, yes, we have to try and keep the expenses in order and minimize as best as we can. On the income side, though, there could be very well opportunities to increase income. So it's really a two-way street because, again, we're broadening the gap. So to the extent you bring down the expenses, there's an opportunity to bring up the income. And especially during this unprecedented year of pandemic and so on, a lot of persons would have pivoted businesses or side hustles, as we say in Jamaica, then turn them handmade fashion and these sorts of things. A lot of people use the opportunity to create new and or additional sources of income. What's your perspective on that, Shinelle? How do you have any thoughts around people exploring additional sources of income, and if so, what should they be doing with that as well?
Boy, Carrie, you've gone right up my alley. I mean, I believe it was last week JMMB would have shared our business expo with team members who have additional income side hustles. And that is something that, I'm guilty of. And what I encourage persons to do, your side hustle or your side business, you treat that income as if it never existed. You don't create your expenses around depending on what that income would have been from your side hustle. You have an opportunity now to generate additional income. It's an opportunity to save more. What I also recommend persons to do is to create a separate account for income from that business, right? Create a completely separate account. If it's a registered business, open a business account. We have plenty options where you can open business accounts with us at JMMB as well. If not, just have an account separate and okay, this is from my business, and I know that I'm not going to touch this money because it wouldn't have been a part of your main source of income in the first place. So why now turn it into becoming so dependent on it? It's a great opportunity to make use of the opportunity. Treat it as if it does not exist. Put it in an account, separate and apart from everything else, and not on your online where you can just go and click and spend it. Right? You'd be surprised, and trust me, you'll be happy at the end of the year when you look at that account and you say, boy, this is what this side business would have generated for you, and who knows, it could potentially become a mainstream income for you too. So treat it as if it does not exist. Don't become dependent on it, and use it as an opportunity for more savings.
That's a great idea. It reminds me of an aunt of mine who had a 9 to 5. This was before she retired, but she had a 9 to 5, but she was an excellent baker. So she used to do wedding cakes and Christmas cakes and so on. And her baking money was just to put down. So if she go and drive the jalopy vehicle and bang her belly on the 9 to 5 salary, she's gonna do that. And then the baking money, what the income from that was straight to whatever savings and investment account to be able to achieve whatever financial goal she had in mind. And I thought that was such a great idea. I think that's really what it's really all about, and I just want to acknowledge Kamika from Facebook in the chat, reminding us about legal side hustles. Yes, folks, we keep it legal. Legal side hustles to increase income, because again, it's not all just about expenses. If there is a way to increase your income, we see Odian talking about passive income as well. What's passive income? Either Shinelle or Raldo could take this, but what's passive income and how can I get on that? That sound enticing. Because I think passive is like that income that you kind of just earn without even working for it.
Right. So an example could be income from a rental property. You're not putting much work or effort. The property is earning, it's maintaining itself, it is creating an income that you don't have to be in the day-to-day operations of it.
Right. Dividends is also another great source of passive income as well. Right. Like I know, so we buy our stocks. Who was a stocks person in here? I don't remember if it was Odian or Venue. You buy your stocks.
It's Odian. Buy your stocks and get your dividend.
Yeah, man, that's awesome passive income because again, you're not going out to work for it. You're not lifting a finger. You've just invested in it, and then you're just reaping. So yes, passive income, an awesome idea. Any way to make money that gives that you don't really have to sweat over making. Right. I think that's another great point. Guys, I think we're just about at the end of tonight's discussion. I mean, I'm just gonna allow you each to just share, what is the one key takeaway you would each want folks to just come away from this conversation with. Think about it for a minute while I just kind of do a quick wrap up because I have a great announcement to share with everybody. So I'll do that while you just kind of think about what is the main takeaway you want our viewers to come away with from tonight's discussion. So guys, as I said at the top of this live, if I know some of you joined on a little bit after that, this live episode stream is the last episode of JMMB Go Get Alive for 2020. Right? We're going to take a break after this. It's the last Tuesday in the month of November. So for the month of December, we're going to take a nice little break. Don't worry, don't cry. I don't remember who it was. Raquel was sniffing a little bit. Don't worry about it. I'm going to reel and come again and come back even greater somehow, some way, shape, or form in 2021. But just letting you know, of course, we still have all of our awesome recordings of all the Goal Getter lives you would have done throughout the year, coming up from March, shortly after COVID hit the shores. We have some awesome episodes. Go do your watch parties, take out back your notebook, look back, catch any episodes you would have missed, share them with your family and friends. And of course, keep the conversations going and follow us on social media to see when we're going to come back in 2021. Now, another great announcement is JMMB Elevate. Do we have any Elevate fans in the house? I mean, tell me in the comments. So JMMB Elevate, if you have been around and been in touch with JMMB for the last 2 years, in January of the last 2 years, we've been having this awesome event called JMMB Elevate, right? And it has been an in-person event for the last couple of years, free of charge to come on in, where folks register and come and be a part of an awesome event that's chocked full of information. We have had a cadre of local and international speakers. You would have probably remembered Paul C. Brunson from year one. We had the awesome Stephen Bartlett in year two, and a cadre of awesome local speakers that flanked Elevate. Last year, we took it up another notch. And guess what, guys? We're coming back with Elevate in 2021. But guess what? COVID is still a thing, right? And we want, A, people to remain safe, but B, we realize that taking Elevate virtual will not only keep folks safe, but it will also give more people access to be a part of it. Isn't that awesome? So we're no longer constrained by how many chairs can hold in the room, but we're going to be able to kind of fly the gate and allow many more people to come on and log on. So guys, we are in the planning. So this is now, mark your calendars, January 15 and 16, 2021. Yes, thanks my admin team in the back. JMMB Elevate is going virtual January 15, 16, 2020, 2021. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be online. It's going to be live. It's going to be lit, right? We have the speakers them signing on. We got the local speakers. We get 2 speakers from foreign so far. I mean, guys, it is going to be lit. So mark your calendars. No excuse, because from wherever you are, once you have an internet connection, you're going to be able to log on to Elevate. So mark your calendars. Follow us on social media as we share all the details about the speakers and the topics and the sessions and all the great information. You're going to get chock full. It's going to be fabulous. So guys, thank you. And let's go back now to Raldo and Shinelle, who are going to share with us their final nugget. So Shinelle, what's the key takeaway you'd love everybody to come away with for tonight? I think you're muted, my darling.
Okay, thank you. So the biggest thing for me I want to share is, yes, you want to treat yourself this season. You want to love your family. You want to draw them close. This year has been tough, but you also want to be intentional around your finances. You know, think about how you want to kickstart 2021. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what's going to happen. So just be intentional and careful around your spending. Keep safe, wash your hands, and try to minimize your interactions as much as possible.
Love that. Love that. Thank you, Shinelle. Raldo, what say you? What's your nugget?
All right. So, guys, I just want you to be deliberate about budgeting and the importance of budgeting, and understand that we know it's Christmas. We want to spend, we want to get the nice things and so forth. Try to stick within your budget for the coming year, you know, because as your queen, it's going to be 2021 for the coming year. Write down your plans for 2021. Make your budget from early. Set a goal. Sit with your financial advisor. Start your planning, have the discussion, and start working towards your goal. I mean, if your company facilitate the Christmas saving, be a part of it. That way, when you get your Christmas bonus, you don't have to go into that money. You'll already have been doing your Christmas savings, stuff like that. Speak with your financial advisor. Work towards your goal. Achieve your dreams, right? Achieve your dreams. It is there. No one can stop us. We just have to make that first step. And that first step is the most important step. So that's my takeaway, guys.
Thank you, Shinelle and Raldo. Guys, can we get a virtual round of applause in the comments for Raldo and Shinelle? Awesome discussion. A great way to wrap up our JMMB Goal Getter Live for 2020. Awesome. Yes, let's give them a round of applause in the chat. Big them up. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. We know you did a lot of preparation for tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for your participation. Raldo is curfew, but if police hold you, it is what it is. Call Keith, maybe. And see what can happen, because we don't want nothing to happen to you. But we appreciate the commitment. And of course, we cannot not thank our faithful viewers, boy, all from Canada. Eunice Walton, welcome. We thank you guys. We could not do JMMB Goal Getter Live without our viewers who are clients, almost clients. We love everybody. Thank you. Loving the applause, loving the engagement. And yes, guys, we look forward to 2021. We don't know what it is going to hold, but we know that we're thinking in possibility mode. We're going to take advantage of every opportunity. We're going to be intentional. We're going to be disciplined. We're going to stay safe and do what we need to do to stay on track to achieve all your goals or all of our goals. And JMMB, of course, is here to partner with you. Again, stay in touch with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Keep posted on what we're up to. Again, remember JMMB Elevate, January 15 and 16, 2021 is going to be online. It's going to be awesome. Keep posted. And of course, I got to big up my marketing team almost virtually every Tuesday night, initially some Thursdays. Got to big up JMMB Marketing for bringing us Elevate every Goal Getter Live. Sorry, see so much things to do. Goal Getter Live every single week. Thank you so much, ladies. Much appreciated. And of course, we continue to encourage everybody to stay safe. Have a wonderful holiday season. All the best. Happy New Year when it comes. Walk good. Blessings. Take care. Bye, everybody.